Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his fiancée has been cheating on him with his best friend. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. Hello, English isn't my first language, so excuse my writing. My girlfriend 22 and I 23 were happily in a relationship. I thought she was the most kind and graceful girl I had ever met. Before I went on my short deployment service, I was gone for 5 months. We had the best night together, being sweet and intimate to taste the moments that might take a long time to happen again. She was hesitant at first due to the nature of my job, but I assured her and made sure I kept constant contact with her even when I was far away. Before my departure, I entrusted her best friend, 23 male, with always looking out for her and her safety, which he gladly agreed to do. Despite the distance, our relationship ran smoothly. We never had big fights or any misunderstandings. I promised to myself that after I got back, I would immediately ask her to marry me. So right after my deployment, I did it. I proposed to her privately and intimately. She said yes, and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. We decided immediately to save money for our big day. However, it was around this time that I noticed some changes in her behavior. She was not as sweet and caring anymore, and she didn't want to be intimate and make love to me, which had never been our problem before I left for my placement. I let her be because I thought she was still adjusting to our new life and might be tired from her work too. Until yesterday when I woke up early, which was unusual since I often wake up after 8 a.m. I heard her muffled giggles outside the room. When I slowly woke up, I walked out so as to not alert her. What I saw shocked me. And I didn't even process it at first. She was FaceTiming someone on her laptop on the couch. She was scantily clad and was nearly topless. Then I noticed it was none other than my best friend. I knew something was up. I didn't want to accuse them right away, so I pretended to be asleep and listened to their conversations. The day passed as if nothing happened. She still acts normal like she used to. When she left her phone unattended, I snooped. That's when I saw everything that's been going on. And it's been months. They're making a fool out of me. I didn't know what to do. I was confused and still partly in denial. I planned for the three of us to confront each other and talk face to face. They keep asking what the occasion is, but I didn't answer them and just said to come along to our apartment. Update. The day finally came for our confrontation. My girlfriend was all smiles, asking me what this is all about and why it's only us and my best friend. But I just kept silent until I heard him ring our doorbell. She excitedly opened the door for him and guided him to our kitchen. They went together looking happy, but they both stopped when they saw me looking at them darkly. I directly asked them what their relationship was, but my girlfriend became pale and shook her head, saying it was nothing. I showed them all the screenshots I had taken when I got her phone the other day and asked them again, slowly but firmly, "What is your relationship?" That's when my girlfriend broke down, saying sorry and asking for forgiveness over and over again. My best friend looked so guilty that time, looking at the floor while holding his nape. He's been my best friend since middle school. I always treated him as my brother, so I never thought of him of all people betraying me. I almost couldn't contain my emotions, so I called the engagement off and told her when I came back, all her things should be packed. I left her crying on the floor while he was comforting her. Last update. 2 months after dumping her while scrolling through my Facebook account, I saw a post shared by my Facebook friend about scandalous posts of my ex and my ex-BFF exposing each other on social media. My ex-girlfriend was exposing my ex-best friend's affairs with other women while saying that he's an irresponsible man and got her pregnant without a care for her. I'm sorry about your best friend and your ex-OP. It really is funny how she thought she would live happily ever after with her AP after cheating on you. I'm sure she's starting to regret her actions. I just hope she learns from her mistakes. As for your ex-best friend, you did the right thing by cutting him out of your life. No good best friend would do the things he did. I'm glad you're in a much better place. Continue to live a good life. That's the best revenge you can have on both of them. Story 2. My 40 male wife, 43, had an affair last year. I'll be honest, our marriage hadn't been great. The thrill had gone. Sex had dropped off, dead bedroom. I guess I wasn't super attentive, but I'm not an ass. I'm a great dad. I'm super involved in the household and the family. We did fun stuff as a family. We have kids, early tweens. We were living interstate for a few months, and when we got back, I started getting suspicious. Her behavior changed very suddenly. So one day when she was out, I checked into her computer and found hidden messages with a guy she'd met when we were away. All the stuff you would expect. Sweet messages, explicit pics, etc. Blatantly obvious that it was an affair. I challenged her and she trickled out the truth. She admitted having sex with him. She wasn't remorseful, she had no tears, just a resigned attitude. I was thrown, felt awful, but I didn't want to overreact right away, and I kept thinking about our kids. I told her she had to stop it, and she promised she would. The weird part, one of the first things she told me is that she didn't regret it. That it had nothing to do with me. It meant something for her, etc., etc., all the standard stuff. I get it, that could be true. But that meant that her needs trumped us as a couple. That didn't seem cool. It was a difficult couple of weeks, but I said I wanted to make it better, suggested we do counseling, which she begrudgingly agreed to. We saw the marriage counselor together and separately. One time when I saw the counselor separately, she pretty much suggested I get a divorce. Fast forward a few miserable months. I had lost 20 pounds, my mind was a mess, constantly thinking and ruminating, feeling worse and worse. We aren't great at talking with each other, but many times she would say things or do things that showed how little she valued me. Didn't find me attractive, didn't think there was anything for us. She sees me as the husband, father, provider, but obviously wants the rush and romance and excitement with someone else. Then sometimes she would give signals like she was trying. Still, I was suspicious, so I checked and saw that she's still texting the guy. He lives far away, so there was no more physical, but lots of romance and sexting. I challenged her, and she lied to me, swore to our kids that it wasn't happening, and I just let it slide. It was amazing she could totally lie to my face, but I figured it out. What should I do? I mean, do I call her bluff? Then what? I already asked her to stop, and she didn't. Everything seemed futile. And here's where it gets super messed up. One time I'm traveling for work and she sent me this sweet apologetic message and it sounded so earnest and I thought, maybe we can get past this. But I want to be sure and I snoop again and I see that she's now texting another guy. I challenge her and she denies it. And it was just so much round and round without going anywhere. Same old. And I was getting so sick of holding out hope to be dashed every time. So I realize I have to be done. I know it doesn't work. I've told her if it wasn't for the kids, I would be gone. I said we need to go to some sort of open relationship and she was super resistant to that, which made me furious. Not because I really wanted it, but because it annoyed me that it seemed like she was cool with her having affairs, but not for me to do it. I wished it could be over, but I don't want to break things up for the kids. Plus, I hate the place where we live. Both her and I hate the place we live, but it's great for the kids. They've got this picture-perfect childhood. I don't want to be single here, and I don't want the kids living in 2 homes. I had asked her to stop, she didn't, and she lied about it. So what do I do? So after she had 2 affairs in 4 months, I decided to go out and look for my own thing. After all, it was obvious she wasn't going to stop. I found someone online and had my own affair for a few months. It was incredible, so many feelings. My self-esteem had been destroyed, and this AP brought it back for me. Of course, my affair didn't last that long. I don't really think they can. And I never felt great about it. It was a weird mix of emotions. I kept thinking, how can I be mad at my wife when I'm doing the same thing? And it hurt when my affair ended. I didn't really want an affair. I wanted a loving, dedicated partner. But clearly I wasn't going to get that with my wife. Oh, my wife doesn't know about my affair. As far as I know, if she does, she hasn't said anything. So here we are about a year later. Now it's just weird. Sometimes she acts and behaves as if she's trying to make it better, but I have zero trust in her. I've started snooping, but I'm sure she's still out there looking for something or doing it already. I'm not even sure what my question is. I feel exhausted by all this. I know both her and I will find more happiness with others. A lot of the time I feel depressed and angry and resentful, and I don't want to feel like that. It's not how life should feel. The rest of the time, I feel sort of empty, wondering if I can make this work. What do we do now? It seems like she's totally fine having affairs. I don't know if I can. It's not really me, but I'm craving connection and closeness. And I can't be close to her. I just can't. It feels fake and weird to even be around her. I feel like I built up a wall between us to protect myself, and I can't, won't take it down. I read about open relationships, but I don't know how they work, or if they even do work. How do you broach it? Do I just accept that she'll do what she'll do? Do I seek out more affairs? Do I just say F it and do what I want? I feel like an ass doing that. It's not who I want to be. I want to move on, but I can't. I'm not in your position, OP, so I can't fully understand your decisions, but personally, I believe you should have listened to your therapist and gotten a divorce earlier on. What you and your wife are doing, the lie you two are living for your kids, may be good for the kids, but is it good for you? Your marriage is dead. You're having short affairs and your wife is having affairs too. You should leave her so you can try to go find happiness with someone else. You deserve that happiness. Life is too short to remain in a sham marriage. Now for some comments. I know that you want your kids to have a healthy family, but your mental health is more important. A lot of my friends have divorced parents and they're all outgoing, healthy social people in society. They are happy and they know that their parents weren't happy with each other and they understood. You have to find someone better and someone that loves you for you. Most people don't realize that it's not the separation divorce itself that really F's kids over, it's the tension and stress you mentioned. Even if you think you're hiding it, you're not. Kids see all. Even if you're managing to keep the really ugly shit under wraps, they're noticing. You're not holding hands, you're not kissing. You're not lovingly joking or buying each other presents or probably even acting like friends. Your kids are not idiots. And they not only see that stress and tension, but they feel it 10 times every single day. They would likely be much happier with two separated and happy parents than two roommates who are at best tolerant of one another. In actuality, you're probably snippy, mean, and short with one another. You understand your situation. It's all okay as long as you don't stick it in the other's face and lie if caught. You understand all your options. What else is there? It's all up to you. None of your options are good for you. You want something you can't have. But at least you get to decide knowing the truth. Staying and lying to each other is definitely an option. Divorcing is an option. I think a good number of people live a lie like you and your wife are doing. I don't find it as depressing as if one person is in the dark while the other's taking complete advantage of the other. But you know your wife is taking advantage of you. If that's good with you, that's okay. I guess you have to figure out what is the best option for you. The problem is, it's very difficult to know what will be the best in the end result. If you take one path, you never know what would happen if you had taken the other path. If you divorce, you never know if it would have been better not to. If you stay married, you never know if it would have been better to divorce. You have to figure it out. Just do the best you can. That's all you can do.